Alright, so now you're going to take your other two Frere models and write domain on one of them. For domain, our definition is going to be the set of all inputs of a function. The set of all inputs of a function. Make that nice and pretty. And then for the factor characteristics, it's going to be our x, our independent variable, our input. Alright, then we're going to move on to range. I know we didn't do the examples or the non-examples, but I want you to hold on and we're going to do something else to get those. So now we're going to go on to range. Range is the set of all outputs of a function. This is different than our range in statistics. Do not get them confused. And this would be our y or our dependent variable. So now I want you to go into your notebook onto page 50. And I want you to put your two Frere models up here at the top. So we'll have our Frere model and then another Frere model. You don't want to fold these over, leave them nice and big. This one says domain and this one says range. So now below it is what we're talking about now. And below it, we are going to put our examples. So now we're going to stay on page 50, guys. And just below where you wrote those two, we're going to write an example. And our example is going to look like this. Example is going to have x, and we'll draw a line down. We're going to write the function y equals negative 2x plus 1. We're going to give ourselves a y, and then we're going to give ourselves our ordered pair, x, y. This should look kind of familiar from last year. I'm going to give you your x's, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. This whole thing is our domain. So then we're going to fill it in. Negative 2 times negative 2 plus 1 is 5. Negative 2 times negative 1 plus 1 is 3. Negative 2 times 0 plus 1 is 1. Negative 2 times 1 plus 1 is negative 1. Negative 2 times 2 plus 1 is negative 3. And we just found our range. And then I want you to come through and write your ordered pairs. Negative 2, 5. Negative 1, 3. 0, 1. 1 comma negative 1. And 2 comma negative 3. So we're going to use these when we go back and put in our examples. The example of our domain is negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. What is the non-example? Well, the non-example will be range. And what was our range? 5, 3, 1, negative 1, negative 3. And let's do the same thing over here. 5, 3, 1, negative 1, negative 3. And the non-example will be the domain. Negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. So now that you've got all of this done, I want you to turn to page 40. 49. 49 is a left-hand side. And on 49, I want you to now show me in another way that you know what domain is versus range. So maybe if you do domain, and then list out all the different names for domain, and then range. Oh, let's color code it. You know how much I love color coding. Ooh. And then you list out all the different names for range. I want you to do something. If you need ideas, you can always go back and look in your ISN on page 5 for some left side ideas. Restate it in your own words, something like this. Maybe write a letter to a friend, practice examples, create an acronym, something that's going to help you remember the domain versus the range.